All right, guys, we're live. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is having a fantastic midweek. Yeah, for those just joining, please feel free to share the link, invite anyone you would want to invite, and also drop your questions. Very, 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 very important. Yeah, so today I'll be just the one speaking. My colleague wouldn't be available, so I'll be walking you guys through some of the trades we took yesterday. And we'll be looking at some narratives and trends in the market if we have any, actually. So, first thing, let's look at some news. But before we jump to the news, let's actually look at what the market is looking like this morning. For those just joining, please feel free to invite, share the link to anyone you want to, and most importantly, drop questions and stuff you want us to look into, probably chats or anything you want us to look into. It's very important to drop most of these things early. GM, everyone. GM. Yeah, so on my screen, let's look at what the market is looking like today. Yeah, so today from yesterday, the market is still green, still in green. Monad has appreciated a bit more. In value, we have a few tokens that are also trying to gain some price appreciation. You can see CTC here, that is up almost 30%. And we can see the bounce from Jito. I think this is based off what's happening in the Solana ecosystem, which, yeah, Jito is actually an undervalued project on my books on the Solana ecosystem. Yeah, we can see AR is still consolidating. I'm still accumulating AR for those that might be interested. And we still have some other projects that are just gaining a bit of appreciation. Fatcoin, yeah, I'm positioned in Fatcoin. I have some sports positions on Fatcoin. Zora, I'm looking to probably long it, but I'm not done analyzing the charts before I can figure out a good position to long Zora. So I'm still looking at the price action. I think NMR isn't here. I'm on the long on NMR, but it's not here. I'm looking at the week. The week is looking pretty decent, but not as well as we wanted. But this is majorly because BTC hasn't broken out yet. It's still in that consolidation range, kind of like an indecisive spot, which we'll talk more about that when we look at the chart. So fairly monthly, obviously the market is still red on the monthly charts when you look at it. Most spots are still very, very down from where they started this month. They're still very down, or from this time last month, they're still really down, which we said last time is a huge opportunity. For those joining, please GM can drop your questions and also you can share the link. So I'll be moving on to check CoinGecko. Today we did more of looking at the charts of the trades that we took yesterday, or one of the major trades we took. We're going to analyze the charts also to see other opportunities that we might actually have, and some other trades that might be positioning for us to also leverage on. So I'll be sharing CoinGecko. Let's look at if there's any trends that's kind of forming. And for those that just joined, yeah, my colleague wouldn't be joining today. He won't be joining today. So looking at CoinGecko, you can see Monad is still trending. I'm not surprised, actually, it's still trending. We have XION that did some incredible move yesterday. We have Wojak, a meme coin, actually. I've not yet resumed trading meme coin. BTC is still ranging, which is not bad. Ethereum is trying to reprice, trying to go above 3K. BNB, we have news around BNB ETF. We have some news there. And the market is pretty stable right now, which is quite interesting because you want to see some consolidation in the market before it break towards the upside, which is what I am actually anticipating. But it's good to see some form of consolidation. So let's look at top gainers, after which we'll look at the news briefly, then we'll jump to the charts to see what the chart is telling us. So looking at them top gainers, it's some random project. XPX is a name that I used to trade SPX is a name I used to trade, but it's been a while I traded it because of the nature of the market for the past 2 to 3 months. Mantra, good project. We spoke about it sometime last week where someone asked, and we spoke about Mantra. So you can actually think of getting a position. I think it's still at a fairly good price to position. Strongly believe it will pump. Limitless, he spoke slightly about it yesterday when we were analyzing Rain, the platform Rain, what they do. Limitless falls in that category of prediction markets. It's just they are more niche focused in the prediction market. Yeah, so let's just briefly look at some news. Just very briefly look at the news then before we jump to the chat. So moving on to let's check Coin Telegraph to see if there's some bullish sentiment before we jump to the chat. All right, so hope those live can actually see my screen. So we're on the news now to Coin Telegraph just to see if there's any like bullish sentiment. So strategy stock is bleeding, but seller won't back down from BTC yet. Yeah, obviously MicroStrategy, their stock is actually crashing. Yeah, it's crashing, but MicroStrategy is still very bullish on BTC. Ondo turns to figures stable with so and so okay. Solana rebounds alongside wider crypto markets, 160 possible. I think we should look at we also look at the Solana chart. Debt cross versus 96k rebound. Well, it'd be exciting to see BTC bounce to 96k at least. I mean, to give odds some momentum to be able to rally. So I don't think we have much of any bullish news in the markets. I don't think so. So let's look at the chart. Let me share my screen so we can actually look at the chart. So we'll start by a brief analysis of our yesterday's trade. Hope everyone can actually see my screen. We'll start by a brief analysis of yesterday's trade. The screen should be live now. Yep, so yesterday we actually took this BTC, we made this BTC analysis. It was done live here, and when we did that analysis, if you go back to yesterday and you watch the live stream yesterday, this BTC analysis was done. And when it was done, the trade had not yet triggered. And I said something very specific. What I said was wait for confirmation before you get into the trade. When we drew this trade, BTC was actually here. This was where BTC was still forming this candle. This candle was still forming yesterday when we actually drew this trade and we did this analysis. And it was a very straightforward analysis done with like the 1 hour chart based on the support here, which we marked out. And it was supposed to be like a scalp trade, basically. We said it, let me extend this resistance zone. We said that what's expected is for BTC to bounce off here and try to take out this resistance. Failure to get back to this point, and there's a high chance that this support might not hold again. If this fails, this support might not hold, so might come down lower, searching for stronger support and more liquidity. So I said it also yesterday for those that were present and they were live. I said it that what would make you take this trade, what would serve as a confirmation for this yesterday trade when the price was still here and we drew this and we did this analysis, is when you start seeing rejection candles. So you want to see BTC price come down to this zone, this order block. You want to see it get back here, and you want to see it reject. So this is the rejection candles. You can see it here. For me, when I got in was immediately I saw this first rejection candle. I was tempted to get in when I saw this first one. It formed after we finished the live stream. This one here. Immediately we finished the live stream around past 11, I think. A few minutes after 11, it formed or thereabout. But I know between 11 and 12, this formed. I was tempted to get in here, but I still had to wait. So I got in after this first candle closed. This confirmed the rejection. So that was when I got in on the next candle on this particular trade, and immediately it went past this zone. I had to set my SL, adjust my SL to protect profit, which it took me out, and I got back in again when it retested it. I got back in. Now the second position that I got back in, I didn't track it to adjust my SL to protect profit. Why? Because this one I exited its profit, the first entry. So the second entry, there was no need to do that. What I just did was I actually just moved my what's it called, stop loss, and I took it up to this level. Yeah, so that's just what I've been doing. So if it comes back to this zone, it takes me out at break even. So I'm just still observing to see if it will be able to go past this. Now, what is actually making this chart to, whenever it gets here to come by, it's called this little resistance we have here on the lower time frame, which is 1 hour. That's where it is rejecting from. It's from this resistance we have here. So while this one is rejecting, this one is also bouncing it. So it's not a question of which one would get weak first. That's just the question. Now you can see the rejection candles whenever it gets here. You can see it first time, second time. So it tells you that you have sell orders there, but here too you have buy orders. So by the time we're now seeing, we're no longer seeing rejection candles either from here or from here. That's a sign that's one of those zones is about to be broken. Yeah, but before that happens, it's very, very important that you manage your trade. Like, it's extremely important. Let me check if we have some questions before I jump into all the stuff. Yeah, for those persons just joining, please feel free, drop your questions. If you took this trade yesterday, you can also let us know if you took the trade and if you're able to secure profit, or you allowed it to go back to entry, or if you secured profit at the second time it bounced off the entry. Yet if you adjusted to protect some profits, or if you're leaving it to go all in until it hits your stop loss, that means you're going aggressive, just let us know. Yeah, GM to those joining, feel free to share the link, and if depending on where you're watching from, you can like, follow, or subscribe. You can also put the tweet. Yeah, so after this we'll look at the Solana chart. So let's zoom out. Let's zoom out to 4 hours and probably daily. So looking at it from where we were at yesterday, nothing much has really changed on the BTC chart. It's still at this range. It's yet to break out. Nothing is decisive yet. It's yet to break out either towards the upside or towards the downside to grab liquidity, then before it goes back up again. So there are a few persons that are expecting it to get back here so that they can take a long. There are a few persons that are actually expecting that, just to switch to 1 hour time frame to see if there's like a gap there. Okay, apparently I don't see any gap on the chart. There's no gap there, but there are some persons that are actually expecting it, that it might come down here to take like liquidity, then before it starts going up. It's possible, but personally I'm leaning towards the upside, like BTC breaking out. That's what I'm leaning towards. So even if it goes down, I'll expect that to be very, very brief, like a very fast dump, and a sharp candle that starts pumping immediately afterwards. Failure to see that, then it might just keep going lower. So next, let's look at another project. Let's see what LTC chart is saying. Let's see what LTC chart is saying. So I was tempted to take this trade again on LTC yesterday when it came back to this zone, because it actually met with all of my requirements. But before I could take the trade, I lost track of time and skipped my mind. I didn't take the trade again, but it met with all of my requirements basically to take this particular trade here. But I didn't take it. So what requirements did it meet up with briefly? Just briefly, let me show the requirements that it met up with. So yeah, It actually came and it took out this inducement zone. This trade came and it took out this inducement. So for me, immediately that happened, that was like a sell immediately. But I lost track of time because I think I saw that when I was driving. So I just had to procrastinate. And if I could remember it again, I'd already missed the trade. So if I want to get like a perfect entry for this, I might need to just go down lower to like a 15 minutes chart. Yep. So that's it. That's the fair value gap. That's it. That's exactly what it went to like close out. So immediately took out that inducement zone. If I want to get like a perfect entry at the lower time frame, I'll just target the fair value gap there. And you can see it actually got there. So that's literally what I would have just done. And for my stop loss, by the way, note I didn't take this trade yesterday, like I said. I didn't take it. And my stop loss would have just been above it. Usually I'd like in 1 to 2. So I just targeted somewhere here, just 1 to 2. And that's it. So I wouldn't have held on till all of here. It would have closed. This trade would have lasted barely 2 hours. Entry and exit, barely 2 hours. And I would have probably exited or adjusted my stop loss to protect some profit. But yeah, so that's it. If I were to take that trade, but I missed it. I didn't actually take the trade. So looking at Litecoin, what is the Litecoin chart seeing? Let's zoom out to 4 hours. So if you notice something, it's still printing like an uptrend on a lower time frame. It's printing an uptrend on a lower time frame, basically. That's literally what it's printing on a lower time frame. But there's a huge resistance here that LTC is yet to break. There's like a very, very huge resistance there. Now, there are lots of traders that can still be trading inside this trend, like as long as it's in that range. You can obviously take trades there. You can take trades. The issue is most persons, when they take trades there, they tend to like not pay attention to the trades and they forget. So let me see if I were to take a trade here. Just briefly, if I were to take a trade here, where would I be looking at? Most likely, I'm looking to take a trade around here. Yeah, so I can see this candle that wicked all the way down to this point. I would be looking to just have the price of LTC come down and take out this liquidity, which most persons call an inducement. I'll just be looking for that to happen. And once that happens, I'll be looking to get in. I can go to a lower time frame, 15 minutes to refine the entry. Literally, that's what I'll be looking to do. So these are like scalp trades where it's like a very brief stuff on a lower time frame, which trades like this shouldn't take over a day for it to play out. Like once it gets to your entry point, it shouldn't take over a day for it to actually play out in most cases. Yes, in most cases, it shouldn't. So if I was looking to trade LTC, this is literally what I'll be looking at, basically. That's literally what I'll be looking at, basically. So like I said, you can actually, okay, I think this got down here, so I might need to extend it a bit further because of this. Let me just go to the lower time frame. I need to be sure this a week. Yeah, it is. So literally, I'll just be looking to get in somewhere around here if I were to take this LTC trade. Now, note, if BTC starts dumping, this trade will most likely be invalidated. Immediately, BTC starts dumping aggressively. That trade will be very invalidated. So that's one thing with trading the crypto market. That's the crazy thing in trading the crypto market. You need to also track the price of BTC. Most times you have to track the price of BTC to see what is BTC doing. Is it consolidating? If it's consolidating, then this is totally fine. This can play out. But if it starts dumping, then it will most likely invalidate most of the stuffs you have actually projected and drawn on the chart. Let me see if we have some other questions, because when I'm on the other screen, I can't see questions. Yeah, please feel free, drop questions. Once I switch back to check the comments, I'll answer all the questions. Feel free to drop questions. So let's look at, I said we'll look at Solana charts. So let's look at Solana charts. Yes, Solana. Yep. So let's see what the Sol chart is actually saying. So from the daily, looking at Solana. From the daily, you can see how Solana has been dumping aggressively. Like on the daily, you can actually see it. Now you can see where we bounced. You can literally see where Solana bounced. This is literally where it bounced. You can actually see it. This was where we got the bounce from. And it's not clear yet. So what I mean by it's not clear is it hasn't broken out to start forming like a change of trend or change of structure, whichever or however you want to call it. It hasn't. Anyhow you want to draw the trend line, it has not yet started any of that. But we are beginning to see signs of that, but it's not yet confirmed yet. For Solana, it's still not yet confirmed. So that's it. Now, mind you, this is on a daily. This is a daily chart, by the way. So this looks like a breakout from the trend line from the month of October, which we started seeing some insane dumps. It's looking like a breakout. So let me go to a lower time frame. Okay, so this is it on a lower time frame. So with what we're seeing, there's every tendency that Solana would most likely still get back to this zone. There's every tendency that it will likely get back to that zone. So if someone were to take this trade on Sol, the person will be looking at this zone. That's what the person will be looking at. If someone were to take this trade on Solana, the person most likely be looking at this zone. It's taking out this zone and an entry here. For me, if I take an entry here, if it comes down and takes out this zone, you can also take more entries here. And then obviously my stop loss will be below here, obviously. But I'll be looking to get in just after it takes out this zone, to get in around here. And if it still goes down further, I'll take more entries just when it takes out this zone. So most times people don't ladder their entries in features, because you can actually ladder your entries in features. Some persons already do that when it's going towards a direction, but you can do it even when it's not going towards your direction. Yet you can actually DCA your entries. As long as you trust that trade, you can actually do it. So it's not rocket science. If you're planning to risk 1K, for example, here you can risk 400, for example. If it takes out this zone and it gets down here, you can risk probably another 400 again. So by the time you're done entering, you've actually risked the 1K. So the difference is you didn't just risk the entire 1K here. You have to split it into 2, or probably maybe into 3. That's what you did. That's splitting it into 2 or maybe into 3. So most persons, they can expect this trade to run all the way to here. It's still very, very possible. But for me, most times I just prefer doing the 1 to 2, and I can adjust it accordingly while I'm adjusting my stop loss. I can also adjust TP accordingly. Most times that's what I do. So this is what the Solana chart is actually showing us. So if BTC breaks out, then we can expect some good bumps. Maybe we can look at one other chart. It's been a while I traded BNB. Ethereum, I think I saw Ethereum here. All right, so we can look at Ethereum. So let's just go to like the daily. We looked at Ethereum, I think, earlier this week. I think so. Okay, so we can see this is the Ethereum chart. It came down. Yeah, we looked at earlier this week and filled this fair value gap here. So going to, please afterwards, I'll take questions. Let me see. So you can keep dropping the questions, please. Feel free to keep dropping the questions. Once I'm done with this Ethereum chart, I'll switch to the questions. Wow, it's past 20 minutes. Okay. So this is 4 hours. So if you look at these 4 hours, it's actually forming a structure. Higher highs, higher lows. It's actually forming that. You can actually treat that. You can check to see that, okay, it's maintaining a particular trend. Yes, you can actually choose to trade this. But looking at this, if you're to trade this, basically, I can't see anything clear here to trade, but I can't, if I'm trading this, I can't take a long here. That's just me though. I can't actually take a long here. This is not a confirmed low yet because it didn't create any high. So I can't. So the area I'll still be looking at taking a long is still somewhere here. Yeah, that's where I'll still be looking at taking a long if I were to trade this, and I were to trade this as a bullish chart or a bullish structure rather. This is the zone I'll be looking at. Now this trade is still not yet confirmed. Still need to see more price action from Ethereum. But if I were looking to trade this, this is what I'll be looking at basically for this particular Ethereum trade. This is what I'll be looking at basically if I were to trade this. So we're expecting it to come all the way down. I need to take out this zone before I get in. For some persons that want to go more aggressive, they can go down to 1 hour. There's some persons that really want to scalp. They can go down to 1 hour. But even in the 1 hour, I can't still pick an entry here. I still can't do that even in the 1 hour. If I were to trade this, I still can't pick an entry. Let me go to the 15 minutes. Yeah, now even in the 15 minutes, I still can't pick an entry anywhere here. Nothing seems to be clear. But if I really want to risk, then I might start adding some other of my indicators. Yeah. If I really want to risk this trade, I can start adding some other of my indicators and start looking for, if I want to force a trade, which most times you don't need to force. You don't need to force a trade most times. But if I really wanted to, then I'll start looking at, and my SL will still be at 2,851. So I'll be looking to take a trade around this level for Ethereum. This is assuming I'm trying to force a trade by all means. This is not a TA stream, by the way. But yeah, for this, I would have to apply other indicators. But truthfully, I don't advise anybody taking this trade. Sincerely speaking, I don't advise anyone taking this trade, but this is the one I'm looking at. Basically, this one I'm looking at. Now, why I said I don't advise anyone to take this is on the 15 minutes chart. Things can change very fast. So while I'm observing the trade, depends on how the price comes down to this zone that I'm interested in. That will determine me taking this trade. And I might still end up making my entry as low as this. I can still end up making my entry somewhere here. Take a bit here, take a bit here. But yeah, my stop loss stays the same here. I can still actually end up doing that. But like I said, things change pretty fast on the 15 minutes time frame, because this is not like a trade that was done with 1 hour or 4 hours, but 15 minutes was used for entry. No, this is a trade that was actually structure was actually picked based on this 15 minutes. So things can change very, very fast. So it's not really something that I would advise someone taking. But I'll still leave it here and we'll check it tomorrow again. This trade usually is supposed to play out within the next maybe 2 hours or so. It's supposed to actively play out within the next 2 hours. All right, so let me take questions. Let me go over to the questions. Okay, so someone is asking, yeah, GM everyone, yeah. So someone was asking, please share Sora Oracle charts. Share the Sora Oracle charts to show entry SLTP zone. Okay, I'll look at Sora Oracle afterwards. Let me see if there's any trade regarding this trading view before I stop that screen share. Please share news on LFG DEX farming on Solana if good to participate. Okay. Okay, the others are more of like GM. Yeah, GM everyone. There are lots of GM everyone. I won't be able to highlight all, but GM everyone. Yeah, so someone is saying, please, what coins are we going to buy today? It's not every day we have coins to buy. Some days you just let the market present opportunities. Some other days you manage some other positions that you're in already. But yeah, we'll look at Sora for swing opportunities. So will you start dropping meme coins for us? Yeah, soon, most likely, soon. So what will be the SL on the SOL trade? Okay, let me get back to this. Let me get back to this briefly. Let me get back to this on the SOL trade. Where is the Solana trade? Okay, everything was actually clear here. I have everything pretty clear here. There's another 15 minutes trade set up on Solana here, but like I said, it's kind of risky. Anything 15 minutes, things might change pretty fast when you look at how the price is delivering. There's another brief 15 minutes trade set up here on Solana. This is similar to what we were looking at on Ethereum, by the way. Very similar to it. But this is for Solana. This is for scalping. This for scalping. This based on the 15 minutes chart. Like I said, things can change pretty fast on the 15 minutes chart. Yeah. So we have this Solana for 15 minutes chart. Okay, so someone was asking the SL. So let me zoom out to 4 hours because that trade was via 4 hours chart. So you can see that 15 minutes trade. You can see what it looks like on 4 hours chart. And you can see this 4 hours candle is already printing to be very, very bearish. It's obviously a sell candle. But yeah, this is for the 4 hours chart for Solana trade, which I said it's that take an entry here. If it takes out this zone, I'll take another entry. So the stop loss is at 120. 120. That's the stop loss. While the entry is at 131 and also around 125, 126. Yeah, so that's about that. Most likely this trade, today is Wednesday, by Friday, should have seen if this trade will play out or not. This 4 hours for Solana. By Friday, you should be able to see that. Okay, so let's switch to DID. Okay, someone said did not join. No, he's fine. He's just handling some stuff, so that's why I expect that he didn't join. He's okay. He's just unavailable to join today. All right, so I think I've covered that trade. So let me switch to share my screen so we can pick up on Sora. Let's pick up on Sora based on the question about Sora. So let me pull up that question. Based on this Sora question, let me pull up the Sora charts so we can be able to like look it up. We've spent over 30 minutes. Wow. So after the Sora charts, we'll be calling it a day. So hope my screen is actually visible. Hope my screen is visible. So pulling up Sora now. So I'm trying to share my screen on CoinGecko Terminal. I hope everyone can see my screen, please. CoinGecko Terminal. Hope everyone can see my screen on CoinGecko Terminal. Please make sure you can see my screen and the chat. All right. Thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. So let's just look at the chat briefly. Sora chat. Let me see, can I enlarge this? Okay. All right, so this is a daily chart. The Sora chart is what it looks like on a daily. So briefly, let's just mark out like this zone. Yeah, so that's where we have like a major support for Sora. You can see it. So it's very close to the major support. Now this is on the daily chart. So if we go to like the 4 hours, now because this one is spot, you're trading, it's spot. You can't trade Sora via features, it's only via spot. So if you're looking to buy it, you can see the best zone to accumulate. As long as it's around 1.9 to like 2.2, 2.3 million, buying around this zone is very, very okay. Earlier today, it dropped to like 2.1. So you can set buy limit on PancakeSwap. And Sora is also on, I think, LBank, one other exchange. It's on LBank and one other exchange. So you can also set buy limits there. And the sell point, where you're looking to sell, is just for swings, by the way. It's around 3.1, 3.3, which if you are to check the profits that you would make, if let's say you bought somewhere around here and you're selling at 3.1, that's 53% profit. If you bought at 2 million and you're selling at 3.1, that's 50 something percent. If you bought at 2.2 and you're selling at 3.1, that's 40%. If you buy here, where it is as right now, and you're selling at 3.1, that's still 30 something percent profit. So most times people underrate the swings. Yes, people underrate it, but you can actually make some decent money. Even if it's $100 you're using, you buy, you sell, you buy, you sell, and you're working with support resistance, support resistance. Most times you don't need to wait till you buy at the exact support. As long as it's close to that range, you buy. You don't even need to wait till you sell at that exact resistance. As long as it's approaching there, maybe 3.1, maybe 3.0, maybe 3.2, maybe 3.5. As long as it's approaching that range, you're selling off. It's easy to accumulate 25 to 35% profit. Even if you're doing that with $100, that's like $25, $30, $35. If you're doing with $1,000, that's like $200 to $50, 300, 350. Yeah. Most times you find out that in like every 3 days to 5 days, you can be able to do that. Most times, because I've done it several times, so you find out that you can be able to do that. Please, is my screen not visible? Okay, so it's saying that they can see my screen, because I was saying we can't see your screen, but yeah, I can see someone saying my screen is visible. Please, is my screen visible? You can let me know. Can you see the chat now? I think I didn't share the chat before. Okay, I think I didn't add it to my live screen. So let me just do a brief walkthrough again, since you guys are just seeing it now. Sorry, I didn't share it before. Yeah, so this is the support for Sora. There's like a support on the daily chart. This is support. Now, let me just zoom out to daily. This is the support for Sora. Very important support. Why it's very important is since it broke out of that support. So it broke out of here and it came down. It has been holding this zone for a while. It's actually been holding it. Yeah, so this is what I was explaining. You can buy from, you don't need to wait most times till it gets to this particular zone. As long as it's close to it, you can buy. As long as it's just close to this zone. It's swing. Now for swing, what you're targeting is, because it's only on spot, you can trade Sora, and it's on LBank too. You can set buy orders on LBank or PancakeSwap. So what you're actually targeting is about 25 to like 35-40% profit for swing trades. So if you check now, last time it bounced off here, you can see how much it did to get. The other time it bounced off, you can see, bounced off again, you can see, bounced off again, you can see, bounced off again, you can see, and now again it's about bouncing off again. So you see that it has bounced off and gone to that particular zone about 4 or 5 times within the last 10 days, from 15th of November till today, 26th November. It has done that about 4 to 5 times, if I'm not mistaken. First, second, third, fourth. This is about 5th. And the return it gives, you don't need to get in here. Even if you get in somewhere around here, 2 million or 2.1, and you exit somewhere around here, because if you see all the time it bounced, it actually touched this zone all the times. Sometimes it went above. You must not target where to get to and start reversing. You find out that, and also almost all the times it came down, it got to this point. Almost all the times that it went down, here, 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 even here, even here, all the times it got to this particular zone here where I did this calculation from. So you find out that you're setting off 40%. So even if you're doing that with $100 and you're doing that about every 3 to 4 days, which in the past 10 days this has happened about 5 times, which averages about once every 2 to 3 days minimum. Once every 2 to 3 days, that's what it averages, which is about 40%. So to put things into perspective, you're sure of, let's just say, minimum 30% via that scalp that you're doing, buy, sell, buy, sell. So even if you're doing it with, let's say $100, let's say it's $100 that you're doing it with, basically, you're sure of making $30 every 2 days. Now, somebody that is doing it with $1,000, which I would not advise anybody to do this with, over 2,000 or 3K. Why? It's because of liquidity. That is why I won't advise someone to go and date it $5,000. No. There are some things that don't make sense, but the highest maybe 2K. That's fair. Now you will find out that you're sure of making like that 30% every 2 days, max 3 days, based on what this chart has been showing us. It's based on its price action, bouncing, getting back, bouncing, getting up, until something happens, which is what this support fails. It's when this support fails that, oh, you won't be able to do that again. If this support fails, and there are multiple factors that can make the support fail. That's not what we're getting into today. But if this support fails, that's when it becomes bad. Or this resistance zone breaks above it, you get, then that whole consolidation zone, you're out of it. Because what is happening here is just ranging. It's more like consolidation. It's just like ranging. And it's been doing this since when BTC was almost at 98K or so. So while that whole dump was happening, BTC dumps to like 92 to come down. Once BTC gives it like 2-3 hours or thereabout, it will pump back. Again, BTC starts crashing further, it comes down again. So it's BTC that was forcing it down, nothing else. It was just BTC price action that was forcing it down. And if it's trying to break out again, BTC will start dumping again, forcing it down. That was what has been happening for the most part of this week. That's why we're taking advantage of it to like swing it. Okay, so if you're doing this and you have a realistic target of 30% to 40%, why not? You make some decent profits and you stay consistent. You actually make some decent profits. Yeah, so I think I've answered the last question, guys. We've spent over 45 minutes today. The planned time is 20 minutes. We've spent over 45 minutes, so it's always an amazing time. It's always an amazing time for those that join, either from YouTube or X. I can see some comments from X. I can see some from YouTube. It's always an amazing time. And we do this Mondays to Fridays. Thank you for all those that join. Thanks for your questions, contributions. Same time, we'll meet same time tomorrow by 10 o'clock. So if you have questions, feel free to come with those questions. Come on time with the questions. We shared some trades or charts analysis. For those that joined late, you can watch it, maybe do your own analysis and decide the ones that you want to take. Tomorrow, we'll still look at those trades to see the ones that went our direction and the ones that didn't. But note, it's very important to actually manage your trades. Very, very, very important. And the 15-minute chart trades, you have to be careful with those ones because, like I said, things change very fast on 15 minutes time frame. Things change really, really fast. So those trades, depending on price action, they can be invalidated before it even gets down to that zone. So it's very, very important to take note of that. Thanks, guys, and see you guys tomorrow, same time. Bye, guys.